of some semi-automatic guns.
Semi-automatic long-arm weapons.
Semi-automatic guns deemed assault weapons.
Bring semi-automatic assault weapons.
An assault weapon.
Assault weapons is expired in 2004.
So what's semi-automatic? What's an assault weapon? What does all that shit mean? Well, guess what? I'm gonna break it down for you. Okay, look, so clearly we've been hearing tons and tons of people going on about semi-automatic assault weapons, assault rifles, and to be honest, most people have got shit wrong many times over. And I'm honestly just quite frankly sick and tired of hearing it, so I'm making this video to lay out what it actually is, what an assault weapon is, what an assault rifle is there a difference between them, what semi-automatic is, what fully automatic is, what other options are there. So let's get into it. And to do this, I am going to use How an AR-15 Works by Matt Rittman. The link to the video will be in the description. I'm only going to go over a couple points with it because it's very visual, and I'm a visual person myself. So if you want to know more on how it works, please go check out the video, leave a like, comment on it, whatever you want to do. Let's get into it.
And held inserted into the magwell. With the selector taken off the safe position, the AR-15 is ready to fire.
So biggest difference you'll notice if you get a assault weapon versus an assault rifle. An assault weapon is a civilian firearm that can be on safe or fire mode. That's it. Whereas assault rifles, military firearms, have a third option over here on the right side, because the difference is the military uses rifles that you can pull the trigger and it fires over and over and over and over again, and it can just dump the whole magazine, or they can flick it to single shot. Civilian rifles, the AR-15 semi-automatic firearms, you pull the trigger, one round goes off, then you have to release the trigger and pull it again for the next round to go off. For example,
now those are single shots.
that is fire mode. That is a semi-automatic weapon. That is every handgun that exists as far as I know. They are all semi-automatic. And what that means, the semi and automatic, is that it's not fully automatic. Like, you can't just hold the trigger and everything just goes and it keeps firing. That would be what the military uses. Semi-automatic means, well, it does half of it. You pull the trigger and it will automatically fire and eject the spent casing. And then it will load in the next round, but it will not fire the next round. You have to physically fire the next round. You have to release the trigger and pull it again. That is what semi-automatic means. It means it's not just going all on its own and causing all the destruction it can. It means that every single shot that is fired, you are firing wherever you're aiming it.
The gases escape through a small port in the barrel, through the gas tube, forcing it to the rear. Turns the bolt carrier forcing and directs it into the chamber. Releasing the trigger releases the hammer from the disconnector, and again the trigger sear assumes control of the hammer, readying the rifle for another shot.
See, so you have to release it in order to pull the trigger again. It doesn't automatically fire.
Military variants of the AR-15, such as the M16 and M4, add a third option for fully automatic fire.
See?
The inclusion of an auto sear and a hook on the back of the hammer allow continuous operation while the trigger is depressed. Returns forward, the back of the carrier trips the auto sear, releasing the hammer just after the bolt closes. Releasing the trigger allows the sear to again assume control of the hammer. In order to conserve ammunition and promote greater accuracy, a burst mode was later introduced.
So yeah, that's just some basic stuff. But military version, it can go full auto. It can just keep firing and firing over and over again as you hold down the trigger. Civilian firearms don't do that. This is why I want to stress, every time someone says a semi-automatic assault weapon,
Semi-automatic assault weapons.
they either don't know what they're talking about or they're just saying those words to confuse you. If someone says a semi-automatic assault rifle, they definitely don't know what they're talking about, because an assault rifle, by definition, is military, is fully automatic. It is full auto. It is not limited to semi-automatic, and therefore is the classification that an assault rifle has. Assault rifle, fully auto. An assault weapon, semi-automatic. Which, okay, well then why did they call it an assault weapon? Well, that was because if they put the word assault in it, like assault rifle, I think they used to call it assault rifles. And by they, I mean people who wanted more gun control, because at the time they called it gun control and not gun safety. And so after calling civilian firearms assault rifles for so long, they changed it to assault weapon because people kept calling them out saying assault rifles are military firearms. They are fully automatic. Civilians do not have those, with a very, very, very minor exception for a few people. But civilians do not have assault rifles. And after being called out over and over again, they're like, all right, well then they're assault weapons. Yeah, now we can say assault weapons, but it's still like basically just rifles. And so what makes an assault weapon? Well, an assault weapon is merely a rifle that looks scary. And by looks scary, I mean it either has a magazine that comes down this far that can be removed at the push of a button. That's one way something is a assault weapon. The other way, if the magazine only comes down like this far, is if the grip looks like this. Is if there's this little knob here to adjust the stock, this little flash hider on the end of it. Any of those individually can make it an assault weapon. There's also, if you have an extra grip up here to hold on to, that's an assault weapon. And I want to say that's pretty much everything. But yeah, literally a grip, a stock, a handle, or a flash hider. That's what makes something an assault weapon. Features that don't change the function of the firearm. In this whole video, he doesn't go over the functions of the grip. He talks about how the stock can be adjusted. He doesn't talk about the functions of the flash hider or if there's a vertical grip or not. All right. He talks about how standard you have a magazine like this and that you can just push the magazine release button and the magazine will come out. And then you can put another one in. An assault weapon is a made-up term for a made-up set of criteria. An assault weapon is basically just a term that politicians can use to go, oh, well, we want to ban this thing, but we specifically want to narrow down onto the firearms that look like this. We don't want people having firearms that look like this. We don't want them having modern-looking firearms. We want them to have just old, like, wood stock hunting rifles and stuff. You know, like the heavier firearms that often fire more powerful rounds than this does. Because if you think the AR-15 fires a super powerful round, check out like another video that explains the power difference between rounds. You can look up the difference. And don't believe anything from like a news source. Go to like some like hunting YouTube channel or something, or a hunting website, and look up the difference in power between different rifle rounds. Because what a lot of news sites do, or a lot of news YouTube videos or YouTube channels do, is they'll go, here's a handgun round. Here's an AR-15 round, boom, and it'll have way more force. Well, it makes sense because you're comparing a rifle round to a handgun round. Handgun rounds have to be smaller because you have to get the magazine inside the grip of the handgun, and so they can't be too long. That's why for 50 caliber you have 50 Beowulf, which is a small, technically 50 caliber round, but it's small and doesn't have as much of a punch because it goes into something like the Desert Eagle. Meanwhile, if you have a 50 BMG gun, if it's going to be like loaded with the magazine is outside of the grip. Like it's going to be in a magazine like this because it has a lot more fucking kick and it needs to withstand a lot higher pressures because firstly, the bullet is bigger, like longer because it's still 50 caliber, but the bullet's longer and the fucking whole cartridge together is way bigger because it doesn't have to fit inside a hand like a handgun round does. So of course a rifle, which also has more time to pick up speed and spin in a longer barrel, is going to have more force, and that doesn't have a size limit of someone's grip. It's going to have more force than a shorter barrel handgun round that can only fit inside of something inside of someone's hand. Okay, so like, are there any other options? You know, maybe semi-automatics or assault weapons aren't technically the worst thing, but is there another option for people? Well, yeah, it's called bolt action. I doubt you want to be in the woods with a mountain lion stalking you with a bolt action rifle. If there is a predator, whether that be animal, human, whatever, that is trying to attack you, you do not want to have a bolt action rifle because for that you have one shot, and you probably won't have that much time before it's on top of you after you notice it, or will at the very least deflect the firearm away. That's why semi-automatics are great. There is technically also lever action, so and there are people who train a lot, and when there's a static target there, they can go. You think a mag capacity limit's going to stop him from spraying a whole bunch of bullets? This is a lever action. It can fire a whole bunch of rounds real quick. I think this is a very small caliber, and that's why it's so stable. But if you just want to ban something because it fires fast, look. All right, and then there's this guy.
Holy smokes.
So
Same guy, but this is a revolver.
He did it. I mean, he did 8 rounds in 1 second on one target.
shooter ready. Stand by. Okay, all right.
He did 8 rounds on 4 targets in 1.06. And then he did the 6 shots, a reload, and 6 shots in 2.99 seconds.
Stand by. .99.
You see, if you're worried about the speed at which someone can fire or the speed in which someone can reload, someone can use a freaking revolver. That guy has obviously trained a lot, but hey, it just takes some more preparation. Semi-automatic weapons work for people to be able to defend themselves. The reason why the AR-15 is the most popular rifle in the United States is because of its customizability and ease of use and its versatility. Like this grip right here, I'm pretty sure you can have this whole same bottom part and back part and literally change the caliber you're shooting by just taking off the top, putting on a new top, and boom, you have one firearm at a time, but you can use it for a whole bunch of different things. You can shoot rabbits with it, you can swap out the top, you can shoot deer with it, you can swap out the top, you can shoot fucking bears with it or something, or moose or something. I don't know what people, you know, tend to hunt with for different sizes, but you can shoot little shit to big shit depending on what size caliber your firearm can fire, and you can swap out stuff. Also, this grip area, you can swap out the top so that it has a whole bunch of Picatinny rail on it. And same with the sights up here. You can just put Picatinny rail on it. So you can have sights, you can have lights, you can have grips, you can have a whole bunch of stuff. And you can customize it exactly to whatever suits you best. There's a lady.
Anna personalized hers to fit her small frame. It weighs less than 5 pounds.
We've had to find different components to make it as light as it can be. I would not be able to hold up a 20-pound gun and fire it where I needed to fire it.
See, she literally sought out parts to make it as light as possible so that little skinny woman could hold it up and fire it accurately. Well, why would she need to be able to do that?
What do you say to, people who say, why would somebody like you have to own an AR-15? What do you say to those
Because of this guy right here. He, any of those people can punch me once, I'm going to be lights out. But if I can defend myself and give me distance and time, then I have a fighting chance to live past today.
I know some people.
It's recommended for... That's funny why everyone needs an AR-15 right down there. T-Rex Arms, good channel. AR-15s are for civilians. The military uses M4s. Military uses fully automatic weapons that just fire and fire and fire. Civilians use weapons that can only fire as fast as they can, like physically with their finger.
Holy smokes.
So
Because that is the greatest for self-defense. It's the greatest for if you're out in the woods hunting and suddenly there's something that you weren't expecting hunting you instead of you hunting the other thing, you're going to want a semi-automatic weapon. I know a dude who went out hunting and might have needed to shoot super long range, so he brought a bolt-action rifle for its just ever so slight increase in accuracy, which at a long distance can mean something, right? He brought a bolt-action rifle, but on all the shit that he was carrying, he also brought a semi-automatic handgun because, as he said himself, he wasn't going to just fucking let some like mountain lion or something like sneak up on him, and then he turns around and he's like, oh no, one shot, and that's it. Because the bolt-action rifle didn't have like a magazine attached to it. And that's another thing. Bolt-actions aren't all boom, boom, boom. A lot of them are boom, boom, which is real bad when a mountain lion is running after you or boars are running up to you. That's why this dude had his bolt-action rifle for hunting what he was intending to hunt, all right? And then he had his semi-automatic handgun for anything that was approaching him so that he could real quickly pull it out and, either set his rifle down or hold on to it and then just go or go boom once off to the side and hopefully scare it off. And if it kept coming, then aim at it and bam, 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 bam. And then he would live to make it out of that hunting trip. Semi-automatic are for self-defense. Fully automatic are only easily allowed to military. Certain civilians can get a very special permission and expensive, very expensive, to be able to have or manufacture fully automatic weapons, but it's so highly regulated that literally only gun manufacturers can make fully automatic weapons, and they can't sell them to anyone. They can make them and they can't sell them to just fucking anybody. All right, no matter what kind of background check someone goes through, you can't just buy an automatic weapon. And they're ridiculously expensive anyways, because you can't manufacture new ones to sell to the public. Only police and military can have ones that are manufactured new. And that's why gun manufacturers can manufacture new ones, but they can't sell it to anyone. Because if basically a police department will go to a gun manufacturer and be like, hey, we want to try out this platform of firearm. Like, hey, we want to try out the UMP, all right? Or we want to try out the UMP. And the gun manufacturer's like, all right. So they make a full auto UMP, and then the police can test it out, shoot it at the range, whatever, and be like, yeah, we don't want it. Or like, yeah, we want it. And so then they'll make a whole bunch for them. Or they'll go to someone else and get a whole bunch or whatever. But gun manufacturers can make them so that if the police want to like see if they want to use one, or see if they want to like get some more of those firearms, although if they want to get more, they probably already have one. I know that they want more, but they can go like, hey, can we test out this platform? And it's like, okay, here you go. It's like, cool. The police use it and they're like, yeah, we'll order a whole bunch. Or no, we're good. It's not quite what we're looking for. But only gun manufacturers can make them, and they keep them just in like basically government, and that one gun manufacturer are the only people that would have access to it. Or someone has to pay a lot of fucking money and wait a long time in order to get one, if they can find someone selling one, because it's illegal to manufacture new ones, with the exception of for government use. Of course, because the government always has an exception for itself. Also, why not? I'm gonna put this video in either the description or up there. Why everyone needs an AR-15. Go ahead and watch it. You'll probably learn a lot. There you go. There's the difference. Assault rifles are military. Assault weapons are just a political thing that has different definitions depending on what jurisdiction you're in, because it's made up, and it's just a way for people to ban rifles that allow people to defend themselves. That's it. Also, assault weapons can be pistols, because we can't have people, you know, making pistols that are, you know, adaptable and as good as rifles, but smaller. And shotguns too, because fucking certain people just hate firearms. And that's pretty much it. If you enjoyed, please like the video, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and peace.